Right. Hi, everybody. My name is Progress Uberiko, and I am Nigerian. I am an international communications consultant, and I live in the UK and also in Nigeria.
So, Progress, I want you to tell us something about Nigeria. I want you to share some interesting insight with the world.
Uh, as a Ghanaian, you should know that Nigeria is a vibe. Like Nigeria is such a vibe. Like that, people are like excited to be here. Like anyone who hasn't visited Nigeria should do because it is such a vibe. The environment, the weather, even though sometimes it can be crazy, like it can get to like 38 degrees, but it is exciting. The people, the culture, the food, the fashion, like it's just exciting. There's so many things to do, so many places to visit, and
Okay.
it just gives a sense of home, and yeah, that's the much there's a lot to say, and most times when you're asked to like describe somewhere you have spent almost all your life in, it's hard to find the words, but it is an amazing place to be.
So, tell us, what are some of the best places to visit in Nigeria?
There's a lot of places for tourists. For example, there
Okay.
is the Obudukato Ranch. That place is
Okay.
almost like heaven. At least the last time I visited, it was such an exciting place. Like
Wow.
built on the hills, a very hilly, rocky kind of vibe.
Wow.
And there are tents there. You can lodge there with your like people go there for couples go there for honeymoon, and it's very very cool. The vibe is so cool. Like you feel like you're so close to God, like you're in heaven.
Okay.
And there's Lagos, of course, the beaches, the sand, the water. If you want that kind of vibe, like picnic vibe, there's Lagos Island as well, like different beaches around there.
Okay.
And yeah, there's Abuja. There is so many fun places to visit.
Great. So, Progress, let's dive into your culture and your food. Tell us something about it.
The food, there's a lot. There's when it comes to food, like there is a lot of food in Nigeria. Like different cultures have different types of food. So
Okay.
for the Yoruba people, for example, Nigeria is very multicultural. For the Yoruba, there is amala and ewedu,
Okay.
which is like I don't know how to even describe it in English. Sometimes when you use English to describe cultural things, it takes away the meaning. It takes away from the original meaning. So I don't know what that English name for that would be, but there's amala and ewedu.
Okay.
It is made with, if I'm correct, it is made with plantain, unripe plantain, and then you dry the skin and you blend it and you use it for fufu. I don't know if Ghanaians understand,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
but
We
use it
have
for
fufu.
that, and then you use it to like eat the soup. There's gari. From where I'm from, there is banga soup, which is palm kernel nut. You boil it and make soup with it. There's banga soup and eba. There is egusi soup. There is tart and owo soup. Like a lot of different dishes to cover. There is akara as well. If you want to snack, there is akara, there is fried yam, there is fried potatoes,
Okay.
there is pap, and also agege bread. If you like soft sweet bread, there is agege bread and different kinds of breads in it. There.
Well, I thought you were going to talk about the Nigerian jollof because our jollof is nicer than yours.
How could I forget? Like, how could I forget the almighty Nigerian jollof? That
Oh,
is
and our jollof is also nicer than yours.
no. I understand the beef, but I think at this point, Ghanaians have even agreed. They have accepted the battle that we won the
No, no, no,
battle.
no. It's not. It's
It's a
never true.
Nigerian
It's never
thing.
true.
Like,
It's never true.
it's ours or nothing.
It's never true. It's never true. So let's talk about your culture, your festivals, and any other ones. Let's talk about your culture.
Festivals. I think growing up as a child, there used to be different kinds of festival, which we back then would we will describe as idol worship, stuff like that. So there's like the core traditional festivals where men and women dance on the road. There are masquerades. There are there are curfews at night, certain time at night, and there's just different things that happen in different places.
Okay.
So for where I grew up in Delta,
Okay.
there are those kind of things. So the men and the women come out at a certain time of the year to like dance, they dance to the river, they do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But for like in terms of like marital culture, in my culture, if a woman wants to get married, the man would pay the bride price. I don't know if it's same for Ghanaians as well. They'll pay the bride price of the woman and then depend on what part of the country the woman is from.
Mm-hmm.
So from like it's the south, which is from where I'm from, the man is meant to pay a certain amount. So for my mom, my dad paid 120 naira and
Okay.
he was giving 20 naira change, which
Okay.
signifies that hey, we are not selling our daughter to you. This is just a significant this is just like a something to signify that you are marrying, we're exchanging families and stuff like that. So that's how it is done. And then each families will like embrace each other, cook, eat, dance, and buy food and like all of that basically.
Great. So if someone is planning a trip to your country, what are you going to tell that person, or what are you going to tell them?
I would say come, like
Mm-hmm.
visit the country. Like you wouldn't Nigerians are very hospitable. I believe that we are one of the most hospitable people. Like white people live here, white people work here, and they don't even feel any sense of discomfort like some Africans would feel when they go to like work or live in Western countries. So it is very hospitable. We are very much people pleasers. We love to welcome
Mm-hmm.
visitors, strangers. You miss your way, people direct you. But also, Nigerians can be very blunt. Nigerians can be very blunt. Like we are outwardly confident. Like if you're wearing an outfit that doesn't look good, someone's gonna walk up to you and tell you. Unlike the British culture, for example, where I lived, and it's like people don't tell you. They just look at you and they don't tell you. Like it's their own way of being polite and not being too nosy or fast forward. But for us, which is one of the cultures that I had when I initially moved to UK. So I think it was in church one day, and there was this man. I go to a Catholic church, and this man was literally taking the wrong reading. He was reading from the wrong. It wasn't that Sunday reading. He was taking the wrong reading, and instead of the priest or the catechist or somebody, the ushers or anybody to just correct him and draw his attention to it, they just
Mm-hmm.
allowed him. And I knew he was doing the wrong thing,
Wow.
and I know that in Nigeria, from my background, like someone would have signaled out to say, "Hey, it's the wrong reading." Like they would have told you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of vibe we have. Like we are like our neighbor's keeper, if that makes sense. Like everybody's there for you. You don't
Mm-hmm.
raise your child alone if you have a family here. People, your neighbors, child, and stuff like that. So that's the kind of culture we have. We are very blunt, but we also look out for each other as well.
Wow. Great. So progress. I know you've traveled a lot. So tell us, what are some of the financial challenges that many face, or even you yourself?
Okay, financial challenges that people face. I think it varies, depend on your intention for travel. So if you want to travel for education,
Mm-hmm.
you want to go for your master's, you have to have a bag full of money. If you
Okay.
want to go for holiday or for a short-term visit, you have to have a certain amount of cash and put certain things in order as
Okay.
well. If you want to like relocate fully,
Mm-hmm.
to another country, there's also a baggage of things to consider as well. So it just depends on which travel you want to embark on.
Okay.
For holiday, I don't know so much, but I believe that it takes a lot of planning, like, planning where you want to go, the places you want to visit. So going to
Mm-hmm.
UK, for example, you
Mm-hmm.
want to know, how many days you're going to spend, if you're going to just visit London, which is, the iconic or the most iconic place in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
or if you want to go to Scotland as well, if you want to go to like Edinburgh Castle, like different parts of the UK,
Okay.
or you just want to visit one place and then know how to put your finances together. And it's always encouraged to do your research before you get there. Like know where you want to go, know
Mm-hmm.
your tour,
Mm-hmm.
who's going to take you, or how you're going to facilitate that, and
Okay.
how long you're spending, so that you know how to budget for that as well.
Okay.
So it depends really on the type of travel you're embarking on. If you're going for education,
Mm-hmm.
have a certain amount of money, pay your school fees. If you have, you can pay it upfront, like pay all your school fees before you travel, or you
Okay.
pay half of it if you're the type that is self-sponsored. Maybe you want to get there and start working, to support yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's also something that needs to be planned.
Oh, okay.
But one thing I always tell people, especially students, because I'm a national student consultant,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing I always tell people when it comes to moving abroad to study is to always have at least half of your finances, like half of your school fees paid. Pay half or even more than half of your school fees, because
Okay.
most of the time when people hear that, oh, I want to go abroad, I'll be able to work and support myself and pay my school fees and all of those things. It's not always as you envisage, because the I think I made a post recently about it, about life in the UK, that people don't really get to talk,
Mm-hmm.
especially as
Mm-hmm.
students or as an immigrant generally, is that it can be tough. It's not, the rosy life that you envisage. That as you go there, oh, you're just gonna pack a lot of money and then send money home and then pay your fees. It's
Mm-hmm.
not realistic. So always encourage people to like have enough money, save if you need to save, if you need to work for a particular period of time, do
Mm-hmm.
that and save enough. You don't have to follow the
Okay.
crowd or the exodus of people, traveling, just migrating without a plan. You should have a plan so that you don't, get there and then start regretting or
Okay.
fall to the ground. There are people who move abroad and then they're unable to pay their house rent, they're sleeping on the streets, or they are looking for one family member, or they're living on family.
Great. So we've spoken about financial challenges that people face. Okay. So what about other challenges that they also face whenever they move abroad?
When like people challenges that people face when they move abroad,
Yeah. Yeah.
there are quite a few. There's a lot of them. One of them could
Mm-hmm.
be loneliness, moving from your family, especially if you're not moving with your family. Even if
Oh,
you're
okay.
moving with your family,
Mm-hmm.
it gets lonely really. So, talk more of like a single person or just an individual moving abroad. It can be challenging because it is lonely.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think I made a post about it today as well on LinkedIn, because it's like you're starting your life afresh.
Okay.
That's one thing that people don't often talk about relocating abroad. Like you're starting your life afresh, you're leaving your family behind, you're leaving the
Mm-hmm.
environment where you grew up, like the
Okay.
things you are already acquainted with. You're
Okay.
leaving all of them behind to go and like start from somewhere, especially a country where you have never been to or you don't really know the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Not to even talk about like countries where you have to learn the language. There's a lot of adaptation to do. And for example, even in the so the UK is an English speaking country. Nigeria is also an English speaking country. And English is our first language in Nigeria. However, when I moved to the UK, I realized that there are nuances to English, like English past English. So there are levels to English. Because I'm like, a British person will speak to me and I don't understand. It's
Mm-hmm.
English. They just spoke English to me, but I do not understand.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Maybe because of the pace at which they're speaking. Maybe they speak really fast, or because of their accent, they have an accent, or maybe the way they pronounce certain words, like water. Some of them will say water,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different things. So like you have to learn. Like there
Very
was a day
true.
I was in London. I was just going on my own, and there was this guy who I think he was a marketer. He stopped to me and was trying to sell to me, and he was speaking to me. It was like my first week in the UK. He was speaking to me and telling me a lot of things, and I just stood there listening to him. Just I didn't want to walk out on him because I was trying to be polite.
Mm-hmm.
I just stood there
Mm-hmm.
listening to him, but I couldn't hear a word. And he noticed, and he said, you're not interested in this, right? And he just said, just told me to go. Like he set me free. He set me free. But I didn't understand. He was speaking English to me, but I didn't understand because maybe they're using their slangs or whatever that I wasn't really familiar with. So there's a lot of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Loneliness, there is the way the weather affects you as well. There's something called SAD, which is SAD, seasonal something depression, seasonal
Mm-hmm.
affective depression, something like that. But it's a kind of depression or moodiness that comes with the season. So like in winter, people's mood changes, like you feel sad, you feel lonely, it's cold and
Oh, okay.
dampened, and especially the kind of lifestyle in the UK as well, it is very individualistic. Like it's a very mind your business kind of lifestyle. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're coming from a continent like Africa or a country like Nigeria, where
Mm-hmm.
we are our neighbor's keeper, like your neighbor knows your business, your neighbor knows what you're cooking, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody is in
Yeah.
each other's
Yeah.
businesses,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna feel the vacuum, right? because in the UK you can even live in a flat or in a house for like years and you don't even know your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
Mm-hmm.
minding their
Wow.
business. Maybe they go to work, come back, just hello, hi, and that's it. Nobody will come and knock your door and say, hey, why did you not go to church today? Or we didn't see you. Like it's a very mind of business thing. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that as well. And yeah, the weather to adapt to. If you're coming from a tropical continent like Africa, it's cold, it's freezing. Like I remember when I first came to UK, my first night in the UK, I went to the shower, and I came out. I had my winter jacket with me inside the bathroom. And my
Wow.
auntie was like, winter jacket is for outside. It's not for inside the house. I'm like, I'm freezing. It's too cold.
Uh-huh.
So but then after a couple of years my body adapted to the weather in a way, not like I did not
Okay.
adapt as a British person. I still feel cold, but my body kind of got used to it, to the point that when I came to Nigeria it was like it was too hot for me. Everywhere was just boiling. I was looking for AC or fan everywhere, like it will still take a while. It will need me to spend some more time in Nigeria for my body to kind of readapt again. So that there's that change as well. um, yeah, so there's a few things.
So tell me, progress. Have you noticed any cultural differences between your home country and UK? If yes, let's talk about it. What are some of the cultural differences you've noticed? Mm-hmm.
There are some similar ones, but they
Mm-hmm.
are very, very dissimilar ones. They're very, very different ones. I even
Oh,
have like
okay.
a list of them, which I can run through.
Okay.
But from the top of my head, the cultural differences in the UK and in Nigeria, I think I mentioned a few while I was speaking earlier. One of which is the individualistic culture
Mm-hmm.
in the UK. In
Okay.
Nigeria, we have a very community-based culture. Like everybody's your neighbors. The other day, as I said, I'm currently in Nigeria. So the other day, there was, a security guy just attacked a young guy, and he was saying, "Oh, I want to check you. I don't see you in this estate because I live in an estate, and they're like, I'm
Yeah.
not very familiar with your face. I want to like check you." And then the neighbors came out. It's like a compound, like where everybody has their own gates,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody opened their gates and came out of their house. Even the big men, commissioner, whatever, all of them came out and they were like, we know this guy. He comes to take our children on, home lessons and stuff like that. So why are you harassing him? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we know him.
Mm-hmm.
But in the UK, I've seen cases where someone is being harassed and everybody just minding their business and working, on their own lane. And I've even been a victim of that. So I
Wow.
shared a dog video where my phone was snatched in
Wow.
London.
Wow. What
I
happened?
was sitting on the train and I just like sitting and pressing my phone, trying to send emails while I was traveling on the train. And then this guy,
Mm-hmm.
as soon as because the train opens at different stops to like drop people and pick people. So as the train opened at this particular stop, there was this guy, obviously a thief or a petty thief, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
As the train opened, train doors opened, he just took his hands through the door and
Oh.
grab my phone and when that happened the door was going to close, and once the door
Oh.
closes you can't open it again because it has to go. So luckily for me I quickly ran and put my hand in between the door just for it not to lock, and so when there's something in between the door, the train cannot move because something is hindering it. So that was how I was able to stop the door, and then I ran after the guy who was already running really fast, and I was shouting thief, thief, thief. The funny part is that
Mm-hmm.
it's not even the fact that my phone was stolen, but it was the fact that people were
Mm-hmm.
standing on that platform, like in corridor there. This guy was running past like over 20 people or 30 people.
Wow.
They didn't stop him. Nobody tried to stop him. And I was there shouting. I was even feeling like, am I
Sorry.
crazy? Like,
Wow.
am I invisible? Can't people see me? Like,
Sorry.
I'm chasing after this
Sorry.
guy, and this guy is running away with my phone. I'm shouting thief. I'm running, I'm panting, and nobody's doing anything. So luckily for me, I
Mm-hmm.
was able to chase, and someone somewhere before the guy ran outside of the train station, someone just like, I think is it that a train staff member or something like that, just grabbed the guy and took my phone from him
Mm-hmm.
quickly. And they let the guy go. That's even another part of the story. But
Wow.
anyway, I got my phone back and I was still
Wow.
in shock of the fact that people saw him and they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Why? Because there are many reasons that people gave, from the comments I got on the video. They were like, oh, maybe they were thinking the guy might have a knife. I'm like, in Nigeria, even if that guy has a gun, somebody will grab that guy and say, "Eh, on the day, broad daylight, somebody will hold that guy for you."
Wow. Wow. Apologies for the internet glitches, everyone. Due to these issues, we would like to wrap up very, very soon. And our team is also trying hard to bring back progress. Progress, we will, because of the internet glitches, we will end our conversation very, very soon. Progress, can we continue with what you were saying?
No. So as I was saying, so people were just watching and they were not trying to stop the guy, and they were, and from the comments on the video, they were like, "Oh, maybe the guy had a gun." Sorry, no guns in the UK. So maybe the guy had a knife, they said, or they even said that even if they had tried to stop the guy, this is stopping a thief. Now, if they had tried to stop the thief, the thief had the right to sue them for assault. Like, you cannot lay your hands on someone. Like, it's assault. Which
Wow.
is why when they caught the guy and took my phone from him, they still let the guy go. Why? Because the person who took the phone from him is not a policeman. It's only a policeman that has the right to like
Wow.
lay hands on, you know, a criminal or whatever. Or otherwise, he could sue you. So like a thief, even thieves have rights. Do you understand? So that's like one of the cultural differences. If it happens in Nigeria, I'm not saying there are no thefts in Nigeria. You know, there are thieves, of course.
Yeah.
There's crime everywhere.
Yeah.
However, because of the community lifestyle that we have, people don't just stand and watch things happen to their neighbors. They're gonna like, you know, intervene and help. So there's that. And there is one other thing I also found I also had to adapt to was calling people by their first name. So in Nigeria, you know, I don't know if I think across Africa, I don't know. But in Nigeria, we address people by either Mr., Mrs., their titles, Professor, Doctor, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and not their name because it's addressed to a senior or someone older than you by their name. But one of the things I had to adjust to because, you know, imagine calling your boss Francis or Michael, stuff like that. But it's like you just have to adjust. Let people
Wow.
change. It's not like what you know is wrong, but like this is their way of life, and you have to adapt how they do things. And do not say it as disrespectful when you call your boss by his name because that's how they're called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, another thing again is the 50-50. So if you go on a date, you're probably gonna pay for your own meal. In some cases, not on the guy, but in that Western culture, there is a 50-50 culture. So you're going on a date, it is advisable as a lady to have buy what you can pay for. Do you get? In case
Yeah.
your date tells you to, you know, split the bill. So going on a date, I remember going this one, it wasn't even on a date, like just going on a shopping with my friends, some of them are white British, and they were the ones, even on birthday, they were the ones that invited me to come for the event. And then we are eating and having fun, and I'm asked to pay for my bill. Like I was in my house. You were the one that invited me. I was resting, and then you invited me. So it's that splitting of the bills, sharing, bills is also another culture. Well, yeah, there are a few, but I'm not sure how
Wow.
much time we have. But yeah, thank
Wow.
you.
Nice one. So, any advice for anyone who wants to travel abroad?
Anyone who wants to travel abroad, pardon me, it depends on why you're traveling abroad. As I said, some people they like to get to the bridge before they cross it. When you're moving abroad, you don't get to the bridge before you cross it. You plan ahead how you're going to cross it. Someone recently reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to go to UK. I want to travel, blah blah blah. What advice will you give me?" I'm like, "Why are you traveling abroad? Why do you want to relocate? Number one, what happened to where you currently are? If you're able to define that reason, that's a good one. And then, what skills do you have? What skills do you have? Because it's one thing to go abroad, even though you're going there for a master's to go and acquire an international degree. Aside from that degree, what other things do you have? Like, skills. Yeah, so I have skills, whether it is hands-on skills, whether it is tech skills, IT skills, braiding, like my hairdresser, she's Ghanaian actually, Ghanaian hairdresser. She in her house there. People will travel all the way from different parts of London and even outside of London to come to her house to go and braid their hairs. Like she's making it big with just braiding hair. Like this hair you can pay for like £60, £70. That's a lot of money. And so there's a lot of things that you can learn, also like other background stuff. Like and also I also advise people to don't just travel abroad. You want to go and do your master's, and you want to go and do masters in political science. Look for the careers in demand in that country. Like in the UK, sectors are thriving are like health sector. If you did something in like something health related, maybe you're in the medical field, that would be a good career choice for you to go and do a master's in that, and then from there you can easily get a job. But don't just choose any master's course. Look for a career that is thriving, maybe a data analysis, computer science, because the IT space is also another thriving career space in most Western countries as well. So you have to do your research about the careers in demand in that country that you should go for. And then again, why do you want to travel abroad? Like, what do you aim to achieve from your travel? It's not like, oh, I just want to go for my master's then, or I know I can. It doesn't happen like that. You want to go for your master's. So, okay, after your master's, you plan to work in so and so place. What does it take to work in that place? Well, these are the things that you don't think it when you have already relocated. You start thinking about it before you relocate. So planning, having a game plan of like, oh, after this master's, I want to do this. Oh, I want to go back to my country to work with my international degree. Oh, I want to move to another country. Oh, I want to start my own business. Like have a game plan, a progressive plan, and make sure that you stick by it. If opportunities come, fine. If opportunities doesn't come, then it's not always greener. The grass is not always greener on the other side. Yeah.
Nice one. So progress. Any shout outs to family, friends? You can also add up your social media handles to it, if only you only wish to do so.
Yeah, sure. My social media, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I have just one name, and that is Progress Oberico. Maybe you'll see it somewhere on the whatever, but it's just my name. I use the same name everywhere. So Progress Oberico is my full name, and yeah, happy to connect.
Great. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Nice one. So sorry for the internet glitches, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the program. Let me ask you, what do you think are some of the other challenges that also people face whenever they travel abroad? You can give your opinions in the comment section. Thank you for being with us till this point. Bye bye.